Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace, peace. Salam, salam. Hotep, shalom. Wagwan. Got whew, another juicy one for you. Jimmy Kimmel. The Empire Strikes Back. This is not the land of the free, nor the home of the brave. All right. This is the land of the peasants and the home of the slaves. You cannot make no jokes about an influencer. That's right. A man that was not military nor an actual political faction with his rhetoric and his activism they say is going on. Charlie Kirk, the civilians, the suave Caucasian, has proven to be some sort of saint for the Republicans or the conservative side of the fence, so to speak. How do y'all feel about this, man? You cannot speak about them peoples. You cannot speak about the alphabets. Cannot speak about Charlie. I know white people's going crazy because I know they really believed, America is supposed to be, be able to. And also a lot of immigrants too that came here from other countries that were very totalitarian, or very, just very unlawful freedoms that people move here to. We can't even have the freedom of speech that we did have, such as in the 90s. All right, let's check it out. Wow, this is crazy.
Deep breaths. There's no other high like it in the world.
Disney and the ABC network are taking Jimmy Kimmel Live off the air indefinitely. This follows a controversy over comments the late night comedian made Monday night about Charlie Kirk's suspected killer and the MAGA movement and their reaction to the assassination. Let's get straight to CNN's chief media affairs correspondent, Brian Stelter. Brian, what is going on?
That's right. This is fast developing this afternoon, Jake, amid pressure from the Trump-aligned FCC. And in the past few minutes, ABC confirmed to CNN that Kimmel's show will be off the air, quote, indefinitely. We have not yet heard from Kimmel or his representatives. That's how quickly this has been developing. But let's back up and look at what Kimmel actually said on the program that has caused controversy. This is from Monday night in his Monday evening monologue. Kimmel suggested that the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk might have been a pro-Trump Republican. He said, quote, the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. He said in between the finger pointing, there was grieving. Kimmel was expressing what we've heard some other liberals say in recent days, that the motives are unclear and that maybe the suspect in this case was a Republican or was some sort of far-right fringe figure. Of course, there has been a lot of discussion about that in recent days. There's a lot of evidence pointing in other directions about the suspect. But Kimmel was on the air talking about this, making a very serious commentary amid his jokes in his monologue Monday night. Here's where it became interesting earlier today. The FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, went on a far-right webcast and condemned Kimmel and urged ABC to suspend him. He also talked about possible regulatory punishments of Disney because there are lots of different stations that have licenses with the FCC. Within the past hour, we've heard from a big owner of stations that have affiliations with ABC, a company called Nexstar, saying that they were going to suspend Kimmel's show on their station. So in other words, about 24 stations were refusing to air Kimmel's show tonight as a...
So this dude has chairman of the FBI call him his best friend, his brother, and that he'll see him. This little Hindu man, said he'll see him in Valhalla. Known Klansman, Aryan Nation rhetoric, barbarian heaven. All right, about this Christian man. He gets flags flown half staff for him. Jimmy fucking Kimmel is getting canceled for him. Okay, and all he did was spew hate, which is what his alleged shooter says why he clipped him for. White people at an all-time rage high at black people and their gay cousins. I don't know why they're mad at black people for. Maybe it's because we have the freedom to say that this was a white man, that he was one of your own, that your violence is a problem, that these mass shootings are a problem, that these mentally ill white children are a problem. Using mentally ill sparingly.
Result of this controversy. And then, following word that some of those stations were basically revolting against Kimmel, Disney, the parent company of ABC, decided to yank the show entirely. So that's all we know at the moment. We know that Kimmel will not be on the air tonight or for the foreseeable future because the network says the show has been yanked off the air indefinitely.
Brian, just to take one issue, your interpretation of what
Indefinitely. Y'all gonna start saying that like expeditiously.
Kimmel said, I think, is the one that Brendan Carr had and the one that the individuals at Nexstar have. But what he said specifically was, quote, the MAGA gang is desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. That can be read in several ways. That could be heard in several ways. It could also be it could also be argued. He's saying that what the MAGA gang is doing is just trying to make sure that they don't have any ownership of it, not necessarily that this killer, this horrible person, was part of them. I mean,
I think you're making a very important point.
Yeah,
you're making a very important point. And let's take it a little bit step further. This was all on Monday night. Nobody seemed to notice this yesterday, Jake. This all erupted in the past 2 hours when the Trump-aligned FCC chairman decided to point at it. Now, I've heard from him in the past few minutes, Brendan Carr, thanking Nexstar for doing the right thing by yanking the show. He has not yet commented on ABC yanking the show altogether across the entire country. But let's remember that when Stephen Colbert's show was canceled over the summer, what did President Trump say? He said, next up will be an even less talented Jimmy Kimmel. It is clear that pro-Trump allies have been trying to target ABC over Kimmel for several weeks now, and tonight they've prevailed.
Yeah, Brian Stelter, thanks so much for that breaking news. Let's go right to the panel. And let me first start by showing, I wondered what was going on earlier today when I saw this pop up on Twitter. This is the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, on a far-right podcast talking about what Kimmel's comments were. Let's roll that tape.
Locked up at High Desert, Gilbert Street, or somewhere else in the San Bernardino system, a global settlement may be coming in 2025.
San Bernardino staff allegedly engaged in inappropriate behavior.
That AI was crazy.
You know, when you look at the conduct that has taken place by Jimmy Kimmel, it appears to be some of the sickest conduct possible. Obviously, look, there's calls for Kimmel to be fired.
Sickest conduct. Yo, what's going on with these Caucasoids? Like, this is going crazy. Indefinitely. You feel me? This is indefinitely going crazy. Like, they are really going wild. Like, this is nuts.
Hi, I'm Jimmy. I am the host of the show. Thank you very much. Welcome. Thank you for joining us here in Los Angeles. The second largest city in our bitterly divided nation, where, like the rest of the country, we're still trying to wrap our heads around the senseless murder of the popular podcaster and conservative activist Charlie.
That's what he was. He was a fucking podcaster. I didn't even know who he was until after he passed. Like, I've seen his big round head before, but I didn't know like who he was. I know he was anti-black. That's crazy.
Kirk yesterday, whose death has amplified our anger, our differences, and I've seen a lot of extraordinarily vile responses to this from both sides of the political spectrum. Some people are cheering this, which is something I won't ever understand. We had another school shooting yesterday in Colorado, the 100th one of the year. And with all these terrible things happening, you would think that our president will at least make an attempt to bring us together. But He didn't. President Obama did. President Biden did. Presidents Bush and Clinton did. President Trump did not. Instead, he blamed Democrats for their rhetoric. The man who told a crowd of supporters that maybe the Second Amendment people should do something about Hillary Clinton. The man who said he wouldn't mind if someone shot through the fake news media. The man who unleashed a mob on the Capitol and said Liz Cheney should face 9-barrel shooting at her for supporting his opponent blames the radical left for their rhetoric. And then the man who on 9/11, 2001, bragged that his building was now the tallest building in New York, which wasn't even true, by the way, visited the Pentagon for a 9/11 memorial, which, believe it or not, he made a bigly improvement over last year when he showed up at a 9/11 remembrance at a fire station in Lower Manhattan with a 9/11 conspiracy theorist who claims it was an inside job. This year, he brought his wife, which was better for sure. And I have to say, I don't know what's going on, but those two lovebirds, they seem to be closer than ever. I mean, if you see during the ceremony, in a tender moment, the U.S. Open, it's all part of his getting booed in public tour. Former Mayor Rudy Giuliani was supposed to go to the Yankee game with him to sit with the president, but he accidentally showed up.
Yeah, he definitely ain't going. Somebody with that narcissism, that level of ifrit, that level of shetatin, definitely won't like a smaller Satan speaking on him like this.
At a Yankee candle store. So Uncle Scam, though, he's all over the place right now. You know, last month, Trump, he fired the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor and projected. I wonder, do you think they fight over who has to give them the news? Like, no, you go, I'm not bringing them these numbers. But say what you like about him, he surrounds himself with the best people. They had hearings this morning to confirm some new Trump nominees, including our next ambassador to the Bahamas, which is former NFL running back and disgraced former Senate candidate Herschel Walker. You may remember Herschel Walker, when he ran for Senate in Georgia, was plagued by a series of scandals and gaffes, including an admission that he fathered multiple children out of wedlock and allegations that he paid for 2 abortions despite his strong pro-life stance. So today, he sat before the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Honorable Senator Ted Cruz.
He is a man of great faith, discipline, dependability, and resilience. Indeed, when it comes to discipline, one of the things I've learned about Herschel is he doesn't eat breakfast.
Wow, this is unbelievable.
Check those out.
Where'd you get all these chalices?
And he doesn't
He's saying he's making Herschel Walker a representative for the Bahamas, ambassador.
eat lunch.
That's right. He can't figure out how to use a fork. So Herschel is not what you might call a scholar. Let's just say if it wasn't for football, there's a chance Herschel might not have gotten into college.
At one time, science said man came from apes. Did it not? Well, this was interesting, though. If that is true, why are there still apes? Think about it.
I haven't been able to stop thinking about it for years.
Yeah, that was poorly written. Maybe there's another context for that. Yeah, Jimmy, come on. I mean,
since you said it. So with that kind of brain power sloshing around in his head, it was time for the H-Man to answer some questions.
What policy approaches, in your judgment, should we pursue to help the Bahamas resist Chinese pressure?
Oh, this should be good.
One of the things that I feel that I would do to get China to is continue to work with the Bahamian people to make sure that we become the partner of choice, and at the same time work with a lot of the American
Department of Chores
companies to come to the Bahamas to see the key investments that they can make down in
the conch, real estate. That's it.
Bahamas to combat against China, because I think they're coming down with a lot of money.
Well, maybe sports don't prepare you for life, you know? I feel like we could just send him to a Margaritaville and tell him he's in the Bahamas. Welcome, Ambassador Walker. Can I get you a double cheeseburger in paradise? Fitness and nutrition, though that seemed to be news to Lawrence.
I'm just proud to be on this.
Trump looks stoked to have LT in his cabinet. Look at Triple H in the back. Look at their faces. Yo, Trump is having a white homie moment right here. Like, hey, yeah, dude, I got fucking Lawrence Taylor
on this team. I don't know why. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing, but I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve you. Okay, so I'm gonna do the best I can for as long as I can. Thank you very much.
Well, at least LT's honest. He's like, I have no idea what I'm doing here, but here I am. You know, down in Florida, there's always something stupid going on. No state provides us with more nonsense. And with that said, it's time to check in on This Week in Florida.
They're eating the pets.
That's right. What happened to that? I guess they stopped eating the pets. Florida isn't the only weird state. There are only two plausible reasons for refusing to release the files. Either Trump files, and the last 4 months screaming to release the files. The vote went 51 to Burbank Butt Sniffer. It's right in the title of his name. What's next? Are you going to arrest Cedric for entertaining? In Washington, the lawmakers are still squabbling over these Epstein files. Republican senators blocked a motion to force a vote on making the Department of Justice.
This could really be the reason why he pulled young Kimmel.
Release the files. The vote went 51 to 49. If you're keeping score, Republicans spent the last 4 years demanding the release of these Epstein files, and the last 4 months screaming, do not release these Epstein files. It's very suspicious. As far as I see, there are only two plausible reasons for refusing to release the files. Either Trump's in it or they are. There's nothing else. I think part of the reason these files are so tantalizing is we know literally everything else about Donald Trump. We know what he eats. We know what he thinks. We know what he's tweeting from the toilet. There are tell-all books and tell-all books about the tell-all books. But these files are the one thing that's still a mystery when it comes to the world's most famous orangutan. So, which means there must be something truly crazy in them, like video of him nude riding a jet ski, or maybe Polaroids of a crooked little mushroom stump. I don't know. I'm just asking questions, okay? I mentioned last night that in response to the backlash from the MAGAverse, Cracker Barrel, not only did they change their logo back, they've decided to pump the brakes on plans to renovate their restaurants, which is a big win, not just for their inexplicably angry customers, but also for one very...
You might be owed $85,000 for your...
Hi, I'm Jimmy. I am the host of the show. Thank you very much. Welcome. Thank you for...
ABC telling NBC News that they will be taking Jimmy Kimmel's popular late night show off of the air indefinitely after comments the late night host made earlier this week about Charlie Kirk's assassination and the motives of the man accused of killing him.
The MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Now, this also comes just hours after FCC Chairman Brendan Carr suggested that the FCC could take action against Disney and ABC for Kimmel's comments. And it also comes after Nexstar Media Group announced in a statement that their affiliates would not be airing the show, saying that they, quote, strongly objects to recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel.
That's wild. That's wild. America for you, man. You know, and also, of course, the things that we're learning now today in our own little media world. We know these things have always been done and perpetuated within entertainment. You know, that's meaning for shock jocks, you know, things of the sort like that. It's normal, you know, to have people say things for reactions or say things that's brave. You know, nowadays you just don't really have those freedoms. This is Abdul Abi. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right. Thank you for coming.
And he gonna come back. I done give you the dope, smoker. Cub gave you the dope, nigga.